then there's those villains where you're like, yeah, if I was in that position, I would do that too.
Yeah.
You know, like Griffith from Berserk.
Ew.
Like, no, hear me out.
Ew.
Now, what he did, some of the stuff he did was no, absolutely not.
Okay.
But
This is Messiah speaking from the Blur Spot. Here I am at Brick speaking about anime debate and hot take. So here we are with our guest panel and for our audience, and we're going to have some fun today. Let's get it. So we're going to introduce our guests. So just introduce yourself. If you do anything outside of, like, you do content creation.
What's going on, y'all? My name's Sharif, or some people call me Reefy. My favorite anime include Yu Yu Hakusho, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Mob Psycho 100, Assassination Classroom, and I like to do YouTube and TikTok or talk about anime and video games, and yeah, that's what I like to do.
those were all banger choices.
I love those anime.
Facts.
But outside, I'm co-hosting on the show, Livisity show. Unfortunately, we don't really talk about, much anime. I'm trying to convince them, but in terms of what we do, we talk about pop culture references. We also talk about like relationships and both partisans. We also touch on mental health in the Black community, physical fitness, and yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Nice. So
Love to hear it, bro.
facts. As you can see here, we have different people from different backgrounds. Again, you could like anime, but also multifaceted. You guys love many things. So here, that's what we do. So we're going to start with our first question. Which anime character has the most compelling background? For me, personally, I say he's a villain from My Hero Academia. I would say Shigi and Shirogaki. The reason being because I guess it's kind of spoilers, but his background is growing up. His grandmother was a one for all user, who the main villain was after her. Essentially, she gave up her kid from adoption because the main villain has no problems of going after children, elderly, wherever to get his objectives. So she believed giving up her son would be the best way to protect him. However, that son grew with trauma, and when he had a Shigi who wanted to be a hero in a hero society, he shunned him for it. And then he actually ended up not intentionally abusing him, which activated his powers. And as a kid, doesn't know what's going on, he activated unconsciously. He killed the family dog. He actually ended up killing his sister, his grandparents, and his father, not intentionally, of course. And so he's at the bottom, has no one to support him. He's just a kid. And all he wanted was, even though it was a hero society, he talked about how all he wanted was just someone to just help him. It didn't have to be a hero. Even it could have been a regular citizen just asking him, like, are you okay? Take to the police station. But no one helped him and avoided him. He got picked up by the main villain, who basically made him who he is today. So I feel it's very compelling because you get to see how it became, his problems with society, the hero society, the troubles he had, and who he became to be. So I feel like, for me, that's a pretty compelling background of how he became who he is.
My guy had it rough. I'm not. That's so bad. Imagine accidentally activating your power and smoking your entire family. I can't help but feel bad for the guy. Like, he had every right to become a villain. If I'm being honest with you, he really did. How you say?
I feel like that's how all like imagine if like superpowers just like happened just like that. That's how most of that would go down. Like like in real life. So like that's so I can empathize with that because yeesh.
Yeah, not to mention, All for One manipulated the poor boy, took his trauma and used it against him and used it as a pawn. So, can you really become a villain?
That's true. That's why I think he has a compelling backstory. I think I can see why he became a villain in particular. Is problem of society, which also other heroes, other people also realize as well. So is he extreme? I would say, but his background story is definitely compelling to me. Okay.
It's my turn? Oh, my bad. So, one anime character I feel has a really compelling backstory is Guts from Berserk.
Ooh.
I don't think, for the sake of like keeping it like PG, I don't think I should explain his background. Just, if you know, then you know. If you don't know, then keep it that way, right?
It's very dark.
The dark is an understatement. I'm not gonna hold you, but the reason why I feel like he's so compelling is because, unlike other anime manga protagonists, like, a lot of them have one clear set goal. Like Luffy wants to become king of the pirates. I feel like Guts, on the other hand, like, he doesn't exactly like have a purpose, and the whole journey of Berserk is him finding his purpose. By the way, rest in peace, Kentaro Miura. Right. So his goal is to survive, and just all he knows is fighting and killing. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't really know anything else. And when he finally finds a home with the Band of the Hawk, we know what happens. Not gonna get into it. You know that you know. Messiah, you know, Darrol, you know. So yeah, we don't talk about what happened to Guts. He did not deserve that. If anybody has the right to become a villain, it's Guts. It's really him. Being honest.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say as a non-villain, for Guts, for main character, I feel like he definitely has probably one of the most traumatic backgrounds in anime. It's a lot. It's a lot.
See, that poor guy did not deserve what he went through, but yeah, like, all he ever wanted was a home. All he ever wanted was peace, but he can never get that. The one woman he loved, we all know what unfortunately happened to her, and because of Griffith.
Remember what happened in his childhood?
That was
We don't talk about that. We are not talking about that. Wow.
Wow.
That was wild. That was wild. And it was his adopted father as well. So it was that that gave him up. That's crazy.
And he just spent his entire life, on from like 6 years old, just killing people to survive. Like, the world of Berserk is really brutal. It's like a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah. Definitely like medieval times type of thing. So it's until it gets dark.
Yeah, it gets, for those who haven't read or watched Berserk, huge trigger warning, by the way. Like,
Very huge.
it's not for the faint of heart. It's very violent, very bloody, very gory. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, y'all both went kind of dark. So I guess, all right. So, no, I'm not going to go dark. Mine would be Tsunayoshi from Hitman Reborn.
Okay.
That one was, it's anime manga that it takes a while, like, it build up. It's one of those ones where the build up is like, okay, when is it going to get to the good part? But when it gets to the good part, that's it. You're locked in. And the thing I like about Tsunayoshi is that, like, I closely resembled him growing up. Like, he was a timid kid. He was very, like, scared of everything. And, he didn't really have that much friends. But then after a while, like, he started becoming more confident. He started having more people around him, more people willing to follow him. When he found out, like, hey, listen, you're the successor of this crime family, and you're going to need to step up and start taking charge. And just starting from like episode seasons to it, right? So starting from like the first few episodes, and then you go up to the last season, and you're like, wow, look at where he came from.
Yeah.
So I like growth like that in anime where it's like, you started from the bottom and now like you're there.
Yeah. That's facts because honestly, I actually read Hitman Reborn, like the manga. So where he first started, he was kind of like more of a annoying MC a bit, but he definitely grows into his character, especially at the very end. I feel like one of the covers that for me actually, I would say it does inspire me visually when I create my own stuff. Um, but it was actually him with his ability with his hands on fire. He controls fire, and he's like with these hands with these flames. I would protect my friends. So before he was really scared of everything, and very end, his character is one to put his life on the line for his friends. So that to me always stood out. That cover. I remember chapters and events in anime, but not really manga covers. But for that one particularly, that one did have an impact on me, and I still remember it to this day. Yes.
By
I started Hitman Reborn, but I fell off of it because I felt like it was kind of slow. But I do see the appeal. I understand why people love it.
The soundtrack is fire.
I heard.
and
I got to give it another chance.
The remake. Oh yeah.
they're remaking it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they're remaking like almost all the hits. Like remaking Reborn, they remake
As they should.
I'm not.
Really should.
Not all remakes are good, but some remakes I feel like are better. Some people don't want to admit it, but Trigun Stampede.
Yes, thank you. I'm so glad you
It's-
brought that up. I love
it's
Trigun
honestly-
Stampede.
it's
way
honestly-
better than the original.
The animation, if you're used to the OG 90s animation, it might like stand out to you. Might be apprehensive of like watching it. But I highly recommend you do watch Trigun Stampede. And honestly, the voice acting, the storytelling is honestly, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And not to mention too, like when I first saw the trailer for Trigun Stampede, I was like, CGI. 'Cause I'd never really been a fan of CGI in anime. The Berserk movies, for example,
Yeah.
Berserk anime.
Mm.
But then when I watched, I was like, yo, it's kind of fire. It's like I love the original Trigun. I remember my dad used to watch the original Trigun, and I love the '90s art style. But if you give Trigun Stampede a chance, you like it. It's fire.
Yeah. 100%. And now, what is the most underrated anime series that deserves more recognition? For me personally, I feel like this is actually going back to 90s anime. It's Wolf Rain. So Wolf Rain basically is about these wolves trying to find paradise on a dying world, so to say, like their own home, so to say, where they're accepted. So it was very interesting from the perspective of the viewer. They kind of switch every now and then, but they look human. But when you see their shadow, they're wolves. So from the other character perspective in their world, they're always wolves. But from our perspective, they're humanized. Get to see them as people. That's the way they drawn us for the viewer. So you do get attached to these characters, and also have my favorite type of thing back in the 90s where animes have like two endings. So they actually have a sad ending, and I feel like it's also like the optimum good ending. So, but I do feel like nowadays it doesn't have enough recognition. The soundtrack was amazing. So that's one I highly recommend anybody to watch. But 90s anime, Wolf Rain, definitely underrated, does not get enough recognition.
Interesting. I gotta give that a look.
Telling you, man, you won't be disappointed. Won't be disappointed.
So one anime series I feel is very underrated and does not get enough recognition. Seraph of the End Vampire Reign.
Oh,
Yes, the ending may have been a cliffhanger, and I'm still tight they're not making another season. But I don't see a lot of people talk about it. Like, I love the main character. His character development was absolutely amazing. Yuichiro Hyakuya? Yeah, Hyakuya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy right there. Started out as an angsty teenager who didn't want nothing to do with anybody because his entire family got bodied by vampires, to going on to become somebody that wants to protect his newfound family and reunites with his best friend who he thought was dead. Come on, that's a match made in heaven right there,
That's facts. That's facts.
right? And yeah, if you haven't watched it, you should. And if you like cliffhangers, you should watch the anime. You should watch it. Give it a watch if you like cliffhangers.
damn, I don't know. Yeah, I was pondering. This was like the question when I heard it, I was like, damn, there's so much. There's so much.
That's true.
There's so much that like so much good anime that's been lost to time.
That's true.
You got like XX Holic.
I love that anime.
Yeah.
That anime is fire.
And there's a continuation to it. While there's like a continuity universe in Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. It's part of that as well. I feel like that was a good one. A bit convoluted, but ultimately I settled on what was it? Twin Star Exorcist.
It's been a while. Watch this for a good minute.
Twin Star Exorcist.
I heard the anime is good. I heard it's good.
It's so good. It's so good. And like when they stopped showing episodes from the anime, I was like, no, I got to read this. Like I have to read it. And then I read it. I was like, no, they need to make more episodes of the anime. But it's like, it's been so long that I don't know if it's lost to time or they just need to bring it back because, you know, it tackles a little bit of everything for everyone, you know?
Yeah.
It has like the action orientation. It has the story progression. It has character development. It has romance in it. And then, you know, and it's one of those like good romances where it's not like, happy ever ending, you know? There's a twist.
Yeah.
Like you'll get your happy ever after, but with a twist. And I feel like stuff like that is what really hooks you. So I feel like that should be one that, you know.
Definitely. The anime is really good. I recommend the show, amazing soundtrack, but I also recommend the manga as well. So I think both should be looked into. Y'all should check it out. So for this one, what is your favorite or most interesting main character in anime? So for me, favorite or most interesting, I'll go most interesting for me. Actually, it's both most interesting and favorite. It's actually Prince Baji from Ranking of Kings. Basically it's about a kid. He like physically weak. But he wants to become a king of his nation. So essentially no one really believes in him. No one believes. They've tried to make fun of him behind his back. They're like, what's this kid doing? This kid is special as well, you know. So he's pretty much at the bottom of the bottom. But through his journey, he connects with friends. And he's deaf, but he uses his disability as a strength because he's able to. Since he was young, is trained to read lips. So as he's reading lips, he actually turns to his strength because when he fights, he uses that kinetic vision, as I mentioned, to anticipate his enemies' movements and also their weak points. And he's able to take them out instantly. So, and with his disability, he's able to find a strength in that, something that works for him. He's also physically weak as well, which to talk about the reason why in the story. But he ventures out into the world. He gets kicked out the kingdom and to go on a journey to becoming a king. And you feel for this guy because even though he's been pushed around, he's been not believed in, he still see the good in people. And honestly, he's a kid on this journey, so you can't help but just feel for this guy. And you just can't help but be like, oh my God, Prince, why you have to experience that? Like, why you have to... But he never gives up. And honestly, I'll have to say, because of that, I had to binge the story because honestly, he's definitely my favorite, most interesting character, my favorite character, Prince Baji. Yeah.
Golden anime right there.
I can't tell you how much episodes that like I've watched and I've like literally started like crying. I don't know why. It just happens. I'm like, this is such a great anime. It's just like peak perfection, chef kit.
Can't go wrong with watching. I highly recommend.
Definitely.
Highly recommend.
So my favorite main character from the anime is Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist. Classic right there.
Brother.
Yeah, brother. To be exact, brother.
Whoa. I'll let you finish.
So here's why I say Edward Elric is my favorite. He started off as a kid, made a mistake trying to bring his mother back using alchemy, even though he wasn't supposed to, right? And despite all that, despite him losing his limbs, his brother losing his entire body, he never gave up and kept his promise to his little brother and got both their bodies back. Like, I feel like he's really the embodiment of pushing forward and moving through the obstacles and what's it called, having resolve. Because no matter how much life hit him, he never ever gave up. He even gave up his ability to use alchemy to save his little brother. If that's not goated anime character right there, I don't know what is, right? And remember how he proposed to Winry at the end?
Yeah.
That scientific riz right there. You feel me? like Edward Oak is really him. Like
He was just like,
come on.
he goes by the law of the anime is
Equivalent exchange.
equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
So like his marriage proposal was like equivalent exchange. Like I give my all to you, give your all to me, and that was like his marriage proposal.
Yup.
So it was just like, I mean, that's kind of riz in the story. Like,
Yo, you think if I used that on a woman, you think it would work? Would it work? You think it would work?
if she watches anime, yeah.
He has a pocket watch. He has a pocket watch. It's guaranteed to work.
Facts, never forget. In October 3.
Make sure it's on that date.
Yeah, exactly.
Guaranteed. That's it. Oh man.
Yeah. Like my most interesting protagonist, Luffy from One Piece, because
Oh, okay.
like his motivation is to become king of the pirates. Yet along the way, he's out here liberating countries, making friends, and freeing people from the oppressed. Remember the scene where he punched the celestial dragon?
Of course.
Is this
Yeah.
Falcon punch the celestial dragon? Yeah, see, you remember. I see you nodding. You remember.
Falcon.
Yo, goated scene right there. Like, just so, like, no matter how much trauma he went through with him losing his brother. Oh shit! I'm so sorry.
Spoiler alert.
I'm so sorry.
Spoiler alert.
I'm so sorry, yo. How about this? If I wave my hands, that's when I'm gonna be done spoiling One Piece. So just close your ears for now, all right? Just close your ears for now if you care about One Piece spoilers. So he went through mad trauma, like what you call it? Seeing his brother get turned into a donut right in front of him, where a Kainu wore Ace's torso like a watch. Yo, at Sabo Odi, where he thought all his friends were dead, like getting poisoned and impaled down by Magellan. Like my man was really going through it, but he ain't never gave up. He's still achieving his dream of becoming the king of the pirates. And all right, I'm done spoiling One Piece now. I'm done spoiling One Piece.
Facts. And also, it's just like when it comes to Luffy. I just had my train of thought. we was crap. What's he got turned into a donut? Yeah, not him. It was a really. Oh yeah. So celestial dragons, right? So to go some backstory. There are people not supposed to be. They're like the elite of the world. So there's a worldwide law. No matter where in the world you are, if you touch a celestial dragon without permission, you will have one of the highest members of the military to come out and kill you. That's
Celestial
iron
dragons
laws
suck.
around the world. But Luffy was like, he saw since these celestial dragons are untouchable, they are corrupt, they do whatever they want, they have a sense of entitlement. I mean, you have the most powerful government in the world backing you up, I guess. But Luffy was like, bump that, you you hurt my friends, I'm gonna knock you the F out. And he just knocked him out right there. So pretty much it was just like that was one of the highest moments in One Piece. It was like Luffy was like, don't mess with his friends because no matter who you are, he will knock you out.
Remember during Ennie's lobby when he had Usopp shoot down the government flag?
So with that, it was basically they were trying to save their friend Nico Robin.
Oh,
and
the most goated scene.
Goated scene and
One Piece.
And in One Piece, when you burn somebody's flag, pirate, or government, that means you're declaring war on them. So Luffy, knowing this, was like, I'm trying to protect my friend. He's like, yo, Sage King, burn that flag. Basically, openly demand that I am going to go against declare war on the government to protect my friend.
One of the most goated scenes ever.
That's a fact. Standing right there.
Chilling. I was like, damn.
Amazing.
That's cold. It was cold.
Damn. Let me see. I have, for mine, I'm really big on, character development. I always like a started from the bottom, now we're here type story.
Uh-huh.
So it's gotta be, for me, it's gotta be Simone.
Wow.
Yes. Oh my God! I'm so glad you brought him up. I'm so glad you brought up my
Stole my answer.
there is no like they literally started from the bottom, like literally underground.
Yeah.
And they were at the end, they were fighting, they were basically galaxies.
Yeah.
They were universes clashing, literally universes clashing, for the fate of mankind. And like this timid little boy, his mentor, I'm not going to spoil anything because I just never do that. Watch it. Never do that. But that anime honestly was what got me into character development and storytelling. It showed like what you can do with a little bit of something and just take it and expand into this giant thing that like covers like the entire like anime verse, like in that universe. And honestly, that it still still impacts me today. So yeah, that's definitely like,
To be honest, I feel like Gurren Lagann, that's the anime with honestly it's when it comes to character development, I would say it's like it's peak. Like you really get to see how he becomes from start from the bottom and now we here type of thing. Like it's honestly top tier. If you enjoy character development and progression for character, I feel like for a short anime, because there's like anime that go for like 1,000 episodes, One Piece. But it's like a short anime, short, concise, with a nice story, character development. Honestly, Gurren Lagann is like has to be your top 5.
It's amazing. It's a really good anime. I finished it like very recently because I've been putting it off for years. And this is your sign to watch Gurren Lagann if you haven't.
if you're waiting for like another anime to drop, I know a lot of them are ending like this week. Then it's a good one to catch up on.
Okay, so what are the most important factors that makes a good villain? Okay, sorry. What are the most important factors that makes a good villain in anime? I feel like for me, important factors, it have to be the impact they have on the story and also their presence. Like, if they're not menacing enough, it's like, why are you a villain? But like, not all villains have to use violence or like, big and bad. I mean, it works in some animes and others, but I feel like, for example, My Hero Academia, All for One, I feel like he's a very big villain. I'll say important villain. But what makes him a good villain, I would say, is that one, he's unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do. But not only is he strong, though, because he has different superpowers, quirks, is that he's also a manipulator. So again, he actually figured out that Shigi was a descendant of his enemy. So he actually made sure to take him in to raise him to basically get revenge back on on All Might, on his foe. So again, to have powers but powerful, but also for be a manipulator, how to basically affect the main character or basically keep them on their toes, be unpredictable. I think for me those are important factors for a villain.
Okay. I kind of want to piggyback off of that too, because I agree with that. Them being like a manipulative, I'm just a fan of manipulative villains. I don't know why, but like I agree with the presence and how they impact the overall story. But I also want to add like what I feel makes a good villain is their motivation, their backstory as to why they are a villain. Like what led them up to being a villain. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a good example is Doflamingo from One Piece. Spoilers for One Piece, by the way. Cover your ears. When I wave my hand, that's when I stop spoiling One Piece, all right? So basically, with Doflamingo's backstory, he was a celestial dragon, meaning they were royals, higher-ups, couldn't be touched. They lived in a society called Marie Joy's, which is where the celestial dragons live, where they owned slaves and did a whole bunch of evil stuff, right? So one day, Doflamingo's pops was like, yo, we're not doing this slave thing no more. We're going to live amongst the people. Now, the regular folks hate the celestial dragons, and understandably so. So when Doflamingo, his brother, and his father tries to live amongst the people, they was not having that. And Doflamingo was pissed that he didn't have a slave no more because, spoiled rich kid, da-da-da-da, right? So the regular folks, they snatched up Doflamingo and his family, tortured them, and which warped Doflamingo's mind into thinking like, yo, this is mine. I have the right to all these lands and all these kingdoms, and I want them all back. So, and not to mention too, his allies warped his mind and manipulated him. They took his strife, his desire for vengeance and all that, and just really, like when you see Doflamingo in the present time in One Piece, he's ruthless, relentless. He'll kill anybody that gets in his way when he's like trying to take back what he believes is his. Like with the kingdom of Dressrosa, he took the kingdom of Dressrosa by force because his family ruled over the kingdom years ago, like hundreds of years ago. So, like, seeing his backstory, you kind of understand why he became a villain. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, reasoning as to why they're a villain and their motivation and backstories.
So, resuming with what are important factors for a villain?
Let's see. Okay, so I feel like I like my villains to have some convolution to them, like anti-heroes, right? Like just a few. Lelouch from Code Geass, right? Great anti-hero, wanted to retake his kingdom back while actually wanted to dethrone his father because he was oppressed. Him and his mother was oppressed. And then you find out some situation with his mother, and then he just goes off the wall. He's like, I'm going straight villain mode. That's it. But but at the end, you realize the purpose of him becoming a villain. And I'm going to steal what you're doing. Spoilers. It's basically to unify the world. So it's like, hey, if the whole world has this one villain, then they're going to come together to fight this one villain, right? There's also, I like them to have like a silent, strong type, like a Meramu from Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, like where it's like, he's more inquisitive than anything, compared to like all the other villains and stuff they dealt with. He just wants to understand how the world works and his place in it. Yeah. And then there's those villains where you're like, yeah, if I was in that position, I would do that too. Yeah. Like Griffith from Berserk.
Ew.
Like, no, hear me out.
Ew.
Now, what he did, some of the stuff he did was, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
But you saw what happened to him before, like when he got captured.
Okay.
When he got tortured, right?
Yeah.
For like, what was it, 2-3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. When they rescued him, he was basically like skin and bones. Like they were like torturing him vigorously, peeling off his skin slowly. Surely, I think his captor also, damn, I don't even know if I could say it, but the same thing that happened with him as well. So like he had that opportunity to like eat the egg, and I was like, yo, if I was tortured for 3 years, like relentlessly and abused, I would have probably ate that egg too and be like, yo, fuck humanity, because that shit was crazy. What he did afterwards, unforgivable. What led up to it, I could completely understand.
I would say though, but even though that did happen to him, the point that like he had to sacrifice the people who rescue him is what I would have. No.
Yeah, that's when we gotta draw the line.
If he was like captured and held up and was not rescued, he says fuck humanity and like ate the egg and that happened, okay. But after he was rescued, his friends risking their lives to save him, and then he's like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna sacrifice everyone so I could come back to be like a superhuman. And it was just like,
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
It's just kind of grimy.
But I understand what you're saying. It is grimy, but they took 3 years. I
Okay.
mean, like, if you were captured and being tortured for 3 years and someone took 3 years to rescue you, you're not going to be like, yo, my dog, yo, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. You don't know how long I've been waiting for this. Like I was holding on hope. No, 3 years. And while you were while I was being tortured, you were over here macking on my girl. In a sense, I was like,
I mean, like, that wasn't really his girl, though.
Was it? Kind of scaring me, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. Kind of scaring me.
I told you for this one, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
Devil's advocate, but that's kind of like that was just like an example.
Okay, yeah.
Like Maramu, I gave Lelouch and Griffith.
Yeah.
So like if you take all those parts of these villains and you just put them together, you know, you'd have like an outstanding villain.
Oh, that's a great villain right there.
I will also say with Lelouch that he was Evan Yeager before Evan Yeager. I basically so
I forgot Aaron Yeager. Yeah, that's right. Also
a good one.
I mean, oof, that storyline at the end when you found out, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a whole bunch of.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of time stuff, but that's conversation for a different day. But it's good though. What is the most emotionally impactful anime moment for you?
Oh boy, do I have a few answers to that question.
For me personally, I guess recently, there's a lot. But I'll say Cyberpunk Edge Runners I consider an anime. It wasn't even at the end. It was actually like probably the first 2 episodes. So we're establishing the world with the main character, David Martinez. He's basically a smart kid in a, not making enough money in a privileged school, so to say, but he doesn't have the right equipment to he's shunned from his peers. But the thing is though, he doesn't really care much about his future, so to say, but his mom was the one like, hey, I'm hustling, bustling just to make sure you have a good future for yourself. But the moment when that happened, they get into a car accident. When they get in a car accident, he's begging the ambulance to come save his mother. However, what have happened is the people was like, oh, well, she's not a premium member because in this world, like money is everything. So they have no status, have no money. We're not going to save her, relieve her. So what ends up happening, they go to like some backwater clinic, doctor's place, hospital, and they was like, oh, she's stable, whatever, come back in a few days. So he goes to school, he gets beats up because the kids heard what happened to his mom, starts trouble with him, gets beats up. He comes back and they're like, yo, your mom died. Here's some paperwork, fill out. like there was
cremated her.
they would cremate her. And the thing was, it was just like how the story just brushes it off. How this is like, we kind of already attached to this character and just brush off his mom, like, yeah, she's dead. Here's the paperwork. She got cremated. And he goes back home. His mom ashes. The bill is due. The landlord's like, where's my money? They don't care. And the kid is there thinking about what he's going to do. He's literally like panicking, like his mom is dead. So many bills he got to do. School, kids beating him up. And he just like kind of just snaps, so to say. It kind of makes his decision that kind of affects the whole story, what happens moving forward. So for me, just the moment that his mom died and how the story just brushes her, even though it's a very significant moment, just the story just brushes her off, was very emotional. It was like, damn, like it kind of set the tone what the story will be, which at the end, but yeah, no spoilers, but yeah.
I had to watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
You have to, bro.
I heard it's mad good, but the most emotional moment for me in anime was the end of Assassination Classroom. If you know, then you know. I'm sorry to open up all the wounds, but I got to talk about it.
Yeah, to do it.
Those spoilers for Assassination Classroom for those who ain't watch it. And everybody, y'all cool with Assassination Classroom spoilers? All right, say less. So at the end, Koro Sensei, the teacher, the octopus-looking guy, he dies at the end because the whole thing is that his students have to kill him before the end of the semester, or else he'll destroy the planet, right? And the reason why that ending was so emotional is because his students got really attached to Koro Sensei, because he was more than just a teacher. He was like the big brother that they all needed, because when it came to that class, they were all the social outcasts, even though in reality they weren't bad kids at all. But Koro Sensei saw the good in them that nobody else saw in them. Like, he did more than just teach them the basics of what you learn in school. He taught them about life, taught them to never give up, taught them that it's okay to make mistakes so long as you get up and keep moving forward. And it hits with me because I had a lot of shitty teachers growing up. So to see a teacher like Koro Sensei, I'm just like, damn, I wish I had a teacher like him.
Mm.
And another thing that made the scene so emotional was that the students didn't want to kill their teacher. You know what I'm saying? They were mad emotional. They were crying. And plus the song that played in the background, you know what song I'm talking about. Yeah, you know. you know. The song was emotional, and the fact that when Nagisa had to stab Koro Sensei in the heart, Nagisa was crying as he's about to kill his teacher, and Koro Sensei was like, "Don't kill me with angst in your heart or with sadness in your heart. Just know that I'm proud of every single one of you." And I'm just like, come on, why? I'm like, why, bro? I'm like, why did Koro Sensei gotta go? But yeah, they had to kill Koro Sensei, and Koro Sensei died. But I will say this. Remember the time skip in assassination class?
Yeah.
They showed the students in the future, they're all successful in life, and I'm just like, Koro Sensei would be so proud if he was still alive, but...
And he picked up the mantle of the teacher and stuff like that.
Yup, and Nagisa became a teacher.
Yeah.
Yo, great anime right there.
That's right.
Great anime. But yeah.
Let's see. For me, I guess I'll have to... since you didn't do a One Piece one, I'll do a One Piece one.
I was going to do a One Piece one. I think I know which One Piece moment you're going to say.
Wait, which one? Just...
All right, I'm gonna say one or three. You're either going to say when Ace died.
Okay. Oh, wait, gotta do that.
Oh, yeah, spoilers. When Ace died, Sanji's backstory, or, hold on, what's another one?
I'll say Chopper's worse. Had a boy's Chopper story.
Yeah, Chopper's
background.
Wow,
Story.
poor kid.
Law. I'll say Law.
Don't even get me started on Law's backstory, man.
You have to tell us now. You have to tell us.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, so when no, you were right. The second one, it was Sanji's backstory.
Oh man,
Sanji's backstory was definitely like one of the ones that like hit. It like kind of like it was like like damn, like and they did such a good job with it, because even from the beginning when they first met, like when they came out with the wanted posters, you noticed that it was just Sanji. Right? And you notice that it was wanted a lot. Not dead or alive. It was like a lot. Right? And, then we just like casted it away for like 700 episodes. Right? Give or take. So, and then they finally brought it back up. And then you find out what happened in regards to like Sanji's backstory, like with his parents, the fact that, believe it or not, hope your closing ears real tight, he's pretty much a cyborg, So it's like, and his father is like is the leader of this crime organization, and he basically had children, and Sanji's the third one because of San, he got Ichijoji and all of them. But basically, he modified his children so they could be the strongest they can be. And then in the whole Keiki Island saga arc, when he fought Luffy, and he was like, "Yo, I'm done with the crew. That's it. I'm going on to like marry Big Mom's daughter and stuff like that." And then you find out. Yeah, okay, I'll stop because his I'm sure he's but yeah, when you find out like everything was just like a ruse, like pulling on his heartstrings and stuff like that, like no one like wanted to do anything with him. It was just like a political thing. Like he basically, and he found out like, yo, I betrayed my friends for no reason. Oh, that got me.
Yeah, same. It was Even though I knew what was gonna happen at the end of Whole Cake Island, I'm still mad sad.
That's facts. That's facts.
Oh, we're done spoiling One Piece, by the way.
I think that was my piece one. I think so.
All right. For this one, what do you think has the best character arc in anime? So best character arc development.
That
For me, to me, I think it's an easy question. My guy over here already said my answer, but Simone from Gurren Lagann. Again, this character starts off timid. Even his best friend, his Kamina, sorry pronouncing that wrong. He looks like the main character. He's not the main character, Simone, but his presence on screen is just so big that like he kind of just takes the light away from the character and is intentional. He even says his favorite line is don't believe in yourself, believe in me that believes in you. Right here.
Yeah, it's not.
But what ends up happening is that some stuff happens, and so the main character has to grow up. And of course, it's slow, it's a painful process, but he does come of age, he does grow into his role, and he does become a savior, not for his friends, but for the people on the planet as well. So from becoming a timid digger who's with okay with people saying don't believe in yourself, believe in me that believes in you, to now who believes in himself that believes in himself. So that's best character arc. I highly recommend it. That's it for the Blur Spot. Thanks for everyone coming for my guests. So again, like, follow, support, and appreciate audience members stepping out as well. Appreciate y'all. So see y'all next time.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here, man.